Keeping yourself safe during pesticide applications. Let's talk about keeping yourself safe during pesticide applications. We'll discuss how pesticides enter the body, first aid for pesticide exposure, the differences between pesticide poisoning and heat-related illness, and preventing heat-related illnesses. How pesticides enter the body. Pesticides enter our bodies in 3 different ways: dermal, oral, and inhalation. In other words, when our skin touches pesticides, when we accidentally eat or drink pesticides, and when we breathe in pesticides. Dermal. The most common way pesticides enter the body is through the skin. Certain areas of your body absorb pesticides quicker than other areas. The most vulnerable body parts are the eyes and the crotch area. This means you must thoroughly wash your hands before using the bathroom or touching your eyes. Pesticides can also quickly enter your body through your armpits, ear canals, and scalp. You can protect these parts by wearing shirts with long sleeves and a waterproof hat. Oral. You would never eat or drink pesticides on purpose, but it can accidentally happen. If your hands are contaminated with pesticides, you can swallow pesticides when chewing gum or tobacco, or when eating and drinking. So, always wash your hands carefully and thoroughly before chewing gum, using tobacco, eating, and drinking. Inhalation. You can inhale pesticides when breathing around open pesticide containers or when applying aerosol pesticides. Always read the label before using the pesticide to make sure you are wearing proper personal protective equipment, known as PPE. First aid for pesticide exposure. The Worker Protection Standard protects you. It's a federal law that protects workers in farm, forest, nursery, and greenhouse settings. There are many parts to the Worker Protection Standard. Let's talk about just a few. The Worker Protection Standard requires that all workers have emergency decontamination supplies available to them at all times. Decontamination supplies include soap, water, and single-use towels. The amount of water each employee needs depends on his or her job. Pesticide handlers should have 3 gallons of water for decontamination. This is 3 gallons per person. Other workers should have 1 gallon of water for each person. This water is not for drinking. It is specifically for washing off pesticide contamination. This water should be carried in each service vehicle. If you spill pesticides on yourself, follow these 3 main steps. 1. If you spill pesticide on your skin, first remove any clothing that has any pesticides on it. Rinse your skin with water for 15 to 20 minutes. Or, even better, wash your skin with water and non-abrasive soap for 15 to 20 minutes. 2. If you get pesticides in your eye, hold the eyelid open and wash out the eye with water for 15 minutes. You must act quickly as pesticides are easily absorbed through the eyes. 3. Deal with contaminated clothing. Do not reuse the contaminated clothing until it has been washed. Bag up lightly contaminated clothing in a heavy-duty plastic bag for later washing. If the clothing is soaked in pesticide, the clothing should be disposed of as if you were disposing of an actual pesticide. To do this, bag up the contaminated clothing, then dispose of it through the pesticide disposal program at the Nevada Department of Agriculture. To set up a drop-off appointment, call 775-353-3717. The Safety Data Sheet, or SDS, for the pesticide will give additional first aid instructions. If it says to rinse the eye or skin for longer, do so. You should have a complete pesticide label and an SDS sheet in the common area at your work and in your service vehicle. Make sure you read the SDS and all pesticide labels before using the pesticide. The last thing you want to do is try and read the pesticide label and the SDS when you have a pesticide on your clothing or in your eyes. Determining whether it is pesticide poisoning or a heat-related illness. Our Nevada growing season warms up rapidly. These warmer temperatures and sunny days can cause heat-related illnesses in many people. As a pesticide applicator, you must wear PPE whenever you apply pesticides. This extra clothing can lead to heat-related illness. How can you tell the difference between a heat-related illness and pesticide poisoning? The symptoms of pesticide poisoning and heat-related illnesses can be very similar. Both include sweating, headache, fatigue, and nausea. Both include dizziness, loss of coordination, irritability, and impaired judgment. Both may cause a skin rash. Heat-related illnesses can also cause muscle cramps in the arms, legs, or abdomen. Some pesticide poisoning can also cause muscle cramps. Here's how to tell the difference. People suffering from heat-related illnesses will have a very dry mouth. They will have a fast heart rate. Their eyes will be very dry and their pupils will be dilated. People suffering from pesticide poisoning will not have dryness in their mouth or a fast heart rate. Instead, they will have a slow pulse, their eyes will not be dry, but they may have very small or pinpoint pupils. In either case, it is important to get the person help as soon as possible. If the person is unconscious, call 911. If you suspect pesticide poisoning, put gloves on before touching the person. Then move the person to a shaded area. If the person is wearing PPE, remove it. Then loosen their clothing. If the person is really hot, cool them down with water by applying water or cold compresses to their skin. Try to get the person to drink as much water as possible. If they are unconscious, do not give them water. If the emergency aid is delayed, call the nearest emergency room for further instructions. Preventing heat-related illness. Here are 9 tips to stay healthy when working in the heat. These will help you prevent heat-related illnesses. 1. Give yourself time to adjust to working in the heat. This can be difficult in our changing weather and with sometimes rigid work schedules. 2. Drink a lot of water. Don't wait until you are thirsty. Drink water before work, during your breaks, and after work. 3. Do not drink too much coffee, soda, energy drinks, or other beverages with caffeine. And do not drink alcohol before work or during the day. All of these drinks can cause you to become dehydrated. 4. Wear lightweight, breathable clothing, if possible. Pesticide applicators must also wear proper PPE. Five. Wear a hat with a wide brim in the sun, if possible. Pesticide applicators must wear a waterproof hat. 6. Use sunscreen. 7. Rest in the shade or other cool areas during your breaks. 8. Juggle your workload. Try to do your heaviest tasks early in the day, such as applying pesticides. This will prevent you from overheating while wearing the required PPE as the temperature warms up later in the day. 9. Be observant on how you feel and how your coworkers feel. Help your coworkers to follow these 9 tips. These tips will help to keep you and your coworkers safe.